Hey guys, how is it going? I hope everyone is doing well, day or night, whenever you tune in and see this. So, Happy New Year to all the people that celebrated, or even if you didn't celebrate, it is a new calendar year and it is 2023. So that is a good thing. And I believe things are coming up. So let's go ahead and talk about the two zodiac signs this reading is for. So this is going to be a reading for Cancer and Leo. And it's going to be from January 1st through January 28th or so. All right. And it is a general reading for both signs. So that can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc. All right. And both of the readings are timeless, which means they may resonate before or after the original time frame of January 2023. I stopped it at January 1st through the 28th only because that's where the astrology notes had stopped. But it could be for the whole month of January or even going into February. For some people, it could take place 3 or 6 months in the future, or even a year in the future, and same things vice versa for the past. So always just take it how it resonates for you. And if it doesn't resonate, always feel free to check out your other placements if you're not a sun sign Cancer or a sun sign Leo. So check out where your moon is, what your rising sign is, if you are aware of it. All right, so there's always lots of fun things to see in a full birth chart. So I believe cafeastrology.com still does a free birth chart. And you can do that even if you don't know your exact birth time. You can find out everything except your rising sign. All right, so you can find out where your Jupiter is, where your Saturn is, where your Mars is, which is really helpful as well. So if you feel guided to do that, then check it out at cafeastrology.com. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get here into the Cancer reading. So I pulled all of your cards ahead of time here, dear Cancer. And so if you want to see the photo at the end, one photo of just all the cards, all you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the little instructions there, and just takes you to my Facebook page, basically. All right, and what else? Yes, I think that's it. Oh yes, all are welcome, right? Regardless of where they have Cancer and Leo in their chart, because we all have it somewhere. All right. So the other thing I wanted to mention here real quickly is if this reading is not necessarily about you, it could be about another person that you're dealing with, multiple people that you're dealing with, or it can be about your general environment situation. So again, always use your intuition to see kind of what makes sense for you, since it is a general reading. All right, so let's go ahead here and do a little sound bell to help ground us and get into the Cancer vibes. All right, so just be aware sometimes it's a little loud if you're listening with headphones or something like that. All right, so here we go for Cancer. All right, Cancer. Let's see what we have here for you. So also real quickly, I will be posting the timestamps after the live is done for some people who just want either Cancer or Leo. Obviously, Cancer goes first. But yeah, those will be posted after the live is done. All right. And we will be doing, of course, shuffling of cards and clearing of energy. So some people like to watch shuffling and some people don't, but you will see the shuffling for Leo if you want after this Cancer reading. All right, back to Cancer. Let's see what we have here for you. Let's go ahead and call out your cards. So you have the Eight of Staves in the right side up position. You have the Queen of Staves in the right side up position. You have the Empress in the right side up position. You have the Five of Cups in the reverse position. And you have an additional, tarot card here. I normally take four for the 4 weeks, but the fifth one wanted to come out, so I took it. So you also have the High Priestess here, Cancer. All right, so let's see. We're going to talk about the breakdown of possibly when some of these things might occur for some people. When we're on each card, I'll say the dates that it might occur. But let's go ahead real quickly and look at the major arcanas here and the minor arcanas and kind of what they might tell us as a side note or underlying theme to your reading. So we do have the High Priestess here, so some Pisces energy. We have the Empress with Libra energy, and down over here, I didn't list it yet, but we do have the Hermit, so Virgo energy. So you could be dealing with a Libra, a Pisces, or a Virgo, or you could have a lot of that in your chart, or the other person that you're dealing with could. It could also be referencing Libra season, Pisces season, Virgo season. And if it's not that, lastly, it could be some area in your own birth chart or the other person's birth chart that needs to be looked at to find even more clues or answers. Okay. And if it's not any of those, that's okay too. We just like to call it out in the beginning ahead of time. All right. So now let's see what the majority of your minor arcana is. You've got two, three wands or staves, as they're called in one of these decks. You got two cups. You got a repeating card. We'll talk about later. Really interesting. Wait, I take that back. You have three cups. Okay. We've got one sword, and that's it. Okay. So clearly it's cups if we have three of them, and that's the highest number. Okay, so what does that mean? Cups in the tarot talk about water, our emotions, right? So it can, there's some that are in the present current position, and then there's some that are in the past. Some are reversed, some are right side up. So lots of different ways that it can go. But basically, it talks about, am I emotionally fulfilled and satisfied? Is the other person or multiple people general environment situation? So take it how, vice versa, how it may apply. But that's generally kind of what the cups talk about. All right. So it can be just an underlying theme addition to your reading. But now let's go ahead and go in order here and see what we have here for you, dear Cancer. So we start off really excitingly here for you, Cancer, with your first card and the first week, which we said could be from around January 1st through the 7th. And when I say we, it's me and spirits, me and spirit, I guess. But we have the exciting Eight of Staves in the right side up position here. All right, so this is exciting messages coming through, surprising, shocking messages, right? It can be good messages or bad, but definitely shocking or surprising. And it is ahead of time, ahead of the Uranus direct that's later in the month of January, okay? But this is something really fast coming through here. And it can elicit for some the shock response, fight or flight, or freeze is the other third one, right? Because these birds are responding to the wands being thrown at them really fast, or the staves being thrown at them really fast, okay? So when this is your first card in the reading here, Cancer, it could also be that this is some energy from the recent past still kind of trickling in. I mean, that can be true for a lot of the reading, right? But again, what is time? You have to decide for yourself how it fits. But this is something really surprising here coming in for you or the other person, general environment situation, or multiple people. But I generally feel that it is good because the other thing I want to say about your reading here, real quickly, ahead of time, little foreshadowing, is that you don't have any energetic blockages or challenges, gentle reminders in your reading here in the month of January. Okay, so as we go through the rest of the cards, they're all in the pretty nice, positive, flowing position that talks about forward momentum and progress. So I am more inclined to say that this shocking or surprising news coming in here for you or for the other person in multiple general environment situation is going to be pretty positive. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here so far. But let's look underneath real quickly what's underneath this Eight of Staves energy, because this is where Spirit wanted me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of this deck to get even more insight. So I call them the sponsor cards. All right. So this is where we have that Hermit energy, the Virgo energy I mentioned at the beginning of the reading. And we also have the Seven of Cups in the right side up position, which was on the bottom of your deck. Okay. Now, these two cards are past energy that made it possible for this Eight of Staves to come out in the right side up position in the present current energies. Okay, so let's see what we have here. With this Virgo energy in the past, in the Hermit energy, we're talking about going inward within to find our own answers, slowing down either physically and or energetically to listen to our own answers and intuition, right? So we see this old man on the edge of the cliff, and he's gone there to get away from all distractions, to get those messages in more clearly. Now, on the other side, we see kind of maybe what is part of the catalyst that brought about this Hermit energy, but also I feel like it bounces a little bit back and forth. With the Seven of Cups energy, we're talking about, can be for some, not everybody, dark night of the soul energy, really asking some hard questions, maybe even feeling lost a little bit emotionally in the past, since we're talking about cups here. But this man, this king, has gone to the Morgana figure, and she's the one of there's many the priestesses or goddesses of witchcraft and herbal magic, right? So she's kind of the soothsayer here that he's gone to get some answers. So he's like, what's my future going to be like? And she's like, well, look at it, there's so many different ways it can go, right? So it's a window shopping for answers kind of energy, but she can't tell him, even though she's the soothsayer, how exactly how his fortune is going to go, because it is always a choice and you do have free will. Yes, there's things that are predestined to kind of happen a certain way, but we still always have free will. So these kind of energies again made it possible for this Eight of Staves, Eight of Wands energy to come out as your first card. That shocking or surprising news. Now, when we talk about wands or staves also, it can talk about our health or our physical body. So it can be some news about someone's health, but not for everybody, of course. All right. But again, whatever this news is that's coming in here, it looks pretty good, because the rest of your cards in this whole month of January are in a really nice positive for momentum progress position. Okay, so let's see what your second card in your second week has for you here, Cancer. So now we have another Staves card right back to back following the first one, or Wands card, and we have the Queen of Staves in the right side up position. And we said this could be around January 8th through the 14th. These dates are just guidelines, of course. You can throw them out the window if they don't make sense to you later and seeing how things process, okay? But we just kind of like to put a week's time frame or so on these cards just as a guideline. All right, so here with this Queen of Staves in the right side up position, she is very confident. She has a silent confidence to her. If you can see, her eyes are closed, right? So she's a queen. She's in a position of authority. Okay, so again, talking about wands and staves, good physical body health here for some. And she is abundant. She has a crew behind her that makes it possible for her to be a queen, right? So she's got all the people that dress her and clean the castle or the temple or whatever you want to call it, right? This is Egypt, the pyramid, whatever it is, okay? But also we see really small in the background here. I don't know if it's a hyena or a big ass cat or yeah, I'll just say maybe it's a hyena. I don't know if they have hyenas in Egypt, but it's some kind of animal in the background, okay? And so what's important about that is her eyes are closed, right? So if we think naturally in the wild, if you were by yourself, if you weren't a queen and you didn't have a team of support behind you, you wouldn't necessarily close your eyes and go into a deep rest if there's animals or predators around. So she's able to do that because of who she is. Okay. So this is a very abundant energy and it's for momentum and progress. And it's almost because it follows your first staves, the eight of staves. It's like she's taking this news, this surprising, shocking good news, and processing it and using it to be more of a queen, right? Stepping more into her power and delegating tasks to others, having a nice inner confidence here. So that's really beautiful to see. Okay. Now, moving forward, this month of January, possibly even into February for some, right? Really looks like a lot of changes is going to be happening here for you, Cancer. That's true of everyone, right? But especially because we started your reading off with that Eight of Staves energy, but also because you have two major arcanas in your present current energies here. Okay, so you have three total, but I also say that because the two major arcanas that we have that I'm about to talk about is they're both like really strong feminine energy characters. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're not a woman, however you identify, it doesn't matter. We all have masculine and feminine inside of us. Okay, so your third card, your third week here is the Emperor's energy, and we said it could be from around January 15th through the 21st. Okay, but the Empress is known as the businesswoman or the CEO of the tarot. Okay. So she delegates tasks much like the queen that was before her. She's fully supported here. But what is really interesting about her, too, is that we see the water in the background, the waterfall. So she's taken her emotions and used it in a positive way to make decisions, too. Okay. We also have water behind the Queen of Staves, of course, the Nile River. So she does that as well. But that is important because remember, the majority of your minor arcana in this reading, the one that showed up the most was cups. And cups, we put water in cups. So emotions, right? Again, using that in a positive way to make decisions, to inform ourselves, to use your intuition, all of those things. All right. So this Empress energy is divine feminine energy as well. We have the feminine symbol over here in the corner, but she's pregnant, right? So that is, of course, a metaphor. So she's planting seeds for the future. Okay. So she's thinking ahead. If she's a businesswoman or a CEO, let's say, right, she has to, of course, think ahead to predict what her business is going to need, what she needs, what her people needs, etc. Okay. So this is, again, like I said, a lot of higher vibrational divine feminine energy in your reading here, Cancer. Okay, so really beautiful. And of course, the emotions and the cups that we were talking about and the water, right? You being, if you are a sun sign Cancer, it doesn't matter actually where your Cancer is in your chart. You're utilizing that water energy that's more natural to you, kind of in this positive way. So that's really beautiful here too. Now when we get to your fourth week, your fourth card, which we said could be from around January 22nd through the 28th. We have a really beautiful reversal here for you with the Five of Cups in the reverse position. Okay, so this is saying maybe towards the end of January or beginning of February, even for some, right? We have this energy of not using just a negative viewpoint, not focusing on all the things that have gone wrong, but having now a more balanced viewpoint of, yes, there is positive and negative in my life. There is, or vice versa for the other person, if this is reading is about another person, Cancer, multiple people, general environment situation. But he's crying over spilled wine if the card was right side up. He's only thinking about the negative, right? Even though there's people behind him that still have wine they can share with him and help him with these things. So when it's in the reverse position, now this person or this energy is starting to realize that, oh, hey, there's more wine that these other people can share with me. Oh, hey, there's easier choices or ways to go about something that I didn't see before, okay, with the help of some other people perhaps. And now this person or this thing is starting to see that. So that is really beautiful. Now let's see what's underneath it, because this is where we have that repeating card I briefly mentioned earlier. So again, this is past energy that kind of made it possible for the Five of Cups to show up in that reverse position in the present moment. So we talk about this as the past energy. Hold on, I can't pick it up for some reason. There we go. Okay, so we have the Seven of Cups in the right side up position on the top of your deck, and the Queen of Wands in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck. Okay, so of course with cups we have water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and then with wands we have fire sign energy, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Not the official cards, but it's there, right? So here we're talking about this past energy made it possible for this to come out, right? So it's so interesting. Let's put this down for a second. We'll bring it back up. But you have the same card, sorry, the sun here, in the same position, and they're both past, okay? So I don't know if you can read it at the top with the sun, but that is Seven of Cups, or if you can count the cups in the images, all right? So it's interesting to always see how the different artists or decks depict the same energy. But yes, this Seven of Cups energy from the past, this window shopping for options, dark night of the soul energy for some, trying to figure out what the next step or choice to be made that's going to help this person or this energy emotionally. Okay, kind of that was happening double time in the past, because when you get the same card in the same deck, well, I'm sorry, if you get the same card in two different decks, it's a particular message from spirit to pay even closer attention, okay? So when we look at that paired with the Queen of Wands energy over here, it could be that that was that the Seven of Cups in the right side up position, the card that you had twice, remember, is acting as a catalyst in the past to then bring out the Queen of Wands, fire sign energy, okay? So say, all right, how can I let go of some of these watery emotions and bring out passion, creativity, physical action in some way? Okay, so that work that was done in the past again made it possible for this Five of Cups in the reverse position to come out in the present current energies. Okay, so that's just showing us maybe possibly why it came out. All right. But I feel that, not only because you have the Empress and the High Priestess here in your um, major cards at the top, your 4 or 5 weeks that we're talking about in January, but also because you have two queens, you've got an Empress, you've got a High Priestess, right? So all this queen energy, so divine, highly divine feminine energy that we all have. Okay, so stepping into our power, right? Delegating tasks to others, knowing we are supported, knowing that we could possibly have the financial backing as well, all those beautiful things that everybody wants, right? But and also having that silent or even a little bit loud confidence. Okay, so that's really beautiful here. But let's keep going, because I did say that you had that one additional tarot card that really wanted to come out here for you, Cancer, so I went ahead and took it. All right. So normally we stop at 4 weeks, but I guess we could say 5 weeks now. So this could be the last couple of days of January, or even possibly into February. It really depends, since it is a general reading. But here we have the High Priestess energy and Pisces energy. All right. So it looks like towards the end of January into even February, you here, Cancer, or another person, general environment situation, or multiple people, is really stepping into their own power, is trusting their intuition. The High Priestess has these scrolls here, and within the scrolls is her secret knowledge of herself. Until she knows herself, she cannot help anyone else, right? She's also processing things in the light and the dark. You have a dark pillar and a white pillar behind her, positive energy and negative energy, right? But then there's also the gray that's in between or even seen behind her, okay? She has the moon symbol on top of her, the Pisces energy, the creativity, and again, the intuitive knowing, okay? So this is really like a powerful time, I feel, for you here, Cancer. So let's keep going, though. We do have one more tarot card and then your little oracle card at the end. And it will play differently exactly in the details for everybody, but I always love and encourage everyone to let me know in the comments down below how things are going or how things play out here for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and see the last tarot card here. So this card is your confirmation card. It's going to come in here and confirm all four, I'm sorry, 5 cards, so 5 weeks or so, right? But it is a combination of past and future energy. Now, because of the card that it is, this time I would say here, Cancer, that is a little bit of a warning to not let the energy of this card take over and take away all this beautiful forward momentum and progress, okay? And I say that because your confirmation card is the Three of Swords in the right side up position. So the energy of this card talks about betrayal, hurt, heartache, lower vibrational frequencies, and being mentally exhausted, even to the point of physical exhaustion, right? So we all have this from time to time. It's a normal thing about being a human, not the fun part, right? But when it comes in here and it's like past or future energy and it's confirming all 5 cards, all 5 weeks, it's like don't let any of that happen, okay? Right? To the best of your abilities. So what does that mean, right? It means because there's lots of changes going on during this time and even beyond, you could say even into March for some, I really feel, that just because there's good changes going on doesn't mean that it isn't mentally overwhelming. So take the rest that you need, the mental breaks that you need. Okay. And again, with all these queens here, she has that support system. She has her friends, family, romantic lover, partner, mental health care worker, etc. Whatever your support system is, make sure you tap in those moments where you feel that it is just a lot of changes going on, even if they're good changes. Also, I would like to say, maybe you guys have heard this phrase before, right? But check on your strong friends, right? Check on people in your life that may exhibit this queen energy, this empress energy, because even though it looks like they're the businesswoman, the CEO, and they have everything covered, it still may be overwhelming and they still need someone sometimes to check in on them. Okay, so hopefully you understand and that part makes sense. Okay. All right. Now, real quickly here, Cancer, before we switch everything and go into Leo, let's talk about the Oracle card you got for this time period and beyond. This is from a new deck my dear friend got me. It's called the Wild Unknown Alchemy Oracle deck. All right. So, because I don't have them memorized, I will be reading a little bit from the book. It's not too long, though. I try to summarize it. So the one that you got is the Darkening. All right, so really beautiful card. Hopefully you can see it with the sun, but looks like there's this crow here on top of some type of ball, and of course there's a snake underneath. Okay, so this talks about depth, readiness, and a deep knowing inside. Okay, so it says here, draw with charcoal or India ink to let the depths of the pigment move you and follow you, and let it lead. The only requirement is that you allow the material to express itself. So that's just a little message if you feel guided to do maybe some drawing here. Let some of the shadow energy out. Sometimes we think of dark energy as scary, but we all have it, inside of us. And a lot of times it can really help us moving forward. Okay. And also, since we had that Three of Swords here for you as your tarot confirmation card, to not let the Three of Swords energy come through and mess up all this forward momentum and progress. If you do tap into checking on your own mental health or the other person's general environment, situation, or multiple people, right? However it fits for you, to do that. Okay. So that way the darkness doesn't necessarily take over the light, but it's balanced in its own place. So let's see what else here it says. It says, in alchemy, darkness is an achievement. It indicates the material has been through a significant occurrence, something called an initiatory experience that has brought it into a state of readiness for the work, the deep work that we all do. The darkness prepares us. We've moved beyond the small talk and chit chat of the upper world and have descended into the psychic layers of the soul. Dark night of the soul, too. Remember your repeating card, the Seven of Cups, right? Okay. Let's see here what else it says real quickly. Where was I? Okay. We admit who we are fully and bravely, and thus open ourselves to the process of transformation. When this card appears, it is not necessary to divulge into what brought you here. The initiation, likely by fire, that has caused the embers to char. Rather, it is time to heal, and darkness is the remedy. Closing your eyes is a voluntary expression of darkening. By practicing it daily, we drop into the depths and surrender as the alchemist's eye adjusts and transformation begins. All right, and let's see what else. This card is linked to Martefactional and to Pluto. These cards are blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's a different message. That means if you got this other card along with this, so I won't read that part. But anyway, so yeah, I think that that really does, Oracle card fits into what already showed up here with you as far as the tarot. So that is your message, dear Cancer, and I hope you got something from it. So again, if you want to see one photo of all the cards here, I will be posting it after the live. All you have to do is click in the description box below here and follow the instructions to see that photo if you like. All right, so we're almost at 32 minutes. So I'm just checking later for the timestamps. So we're going to go ahead and clear the energy from Cancer and charge the cards with some crystals and do lots of deep shuffling so we can move on into Leo. All right, let's see here. Oh, my music, I forgot, got really quiet. I like to have it on just a little bit for the dogs and for me too, but it gets annoying sometimes with the commercials though, so we have to turn it up and then turn it down, and sometimes I forget to turn it back up. All right, so we're going to randomly place these in here. This is not the shuffling yet. We're just kind of getting it ready. All right. Okay. And we'll let those sit for a minute. Maybe this is a good time to go ahead and do the sound bell to again kind of refocus our energy and reground ourselves. So for people who are just tuning in, it is a general reading, it's a timeless reading, and now we're going to get into Leo. All right, so just be aware it gets a little loud for a few moments, but if you feel guided, you can take a couple deep breaths, or you can just listen and tap in. So again, to make sure the messages are clear from spirit. Okay, so here we go for Leo. Okay. Let's see here. Put that up out of the way. And let's do some shuffling for Leo. All right. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Leo the Lion for January 2023. These are the same deck I usually use, but I got a bigger, newer version. So it doesn't have as many scratches, but it's a lot bigger than my other original deck from the 90s. So, or maybe even the 80s. I don't remember now. I think it was the 90s though. Yeah. All right. Messages for Leo for January 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Messages for Leo for their highest vibration. Leo the Lion for January 2023. Messages for Leo. Messages for Leo. Spirits, only 4 cards, please. Spirits, only 4 cards. Messages for Leo the Lion. What does Leo need to see? What does Leo need to know for their highest vibration? Messages for Leo. Messages for Leo the Lion. Fire sign Leo the Lion for January 2023. All right, so before we put this away, we are going to take the little top and the bottom. All right. Just move this out of the way for a second. And let me just confirm with Spirit here real quickly how they want to receive these cards. Spirits, did you want the 4 of Staves in the reverse position to represent the first tarot card for this Leo reading? No? Okay. Spirits, did you want the 4 of Staves in the right side up position to represent to represent the first tarot card for this Leo reading? Okay, that's how they want it. All right, moving on. And spirits on love and light, respect and reverence before, during, and after. Spirits, do you want the Ace of Cups in the reverse position to represent the second tarot card for this Leo reading? No? Okay, they want it right side up. Confirm. Spirits, you want the Ace of Cups in the right side up position to represent the second tarot card for this Leo reading? Okay. And spirits, did you want the Judgment card in the right side up position to represent the third tarot card for this Leo reading? Okay. And spirits, thank you in advance, and thank you, of course, for listening. Spirits, did you want the 9 of Staves in the reverse position to represent the 4th tarot card for this Leo reading? No? Okay. Just to confirm, spirits, you want the 9 of Staves in the right side up position to represent the 4th tarot card for this Leo reading? Okay, so they want that. I'll leave it. Just move it up. And let's see. I believe they mount these 2 underneath here, but I want to double check. Spirits, did you want the 7 of Sacred Circles in the right side up position and the Death card in the right side up position to be talked about when I talk about the Judgment card in the right side up position? Okay, so they said yes, so we'll leave that there. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the other tarot deck and do a little shuffling real quickly. All right, spirits guide my hands. Messages for Leo the Lion for January 2023. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for fire sign Leo the Lion for January 2023. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Leo the Lion for January 2023 for their highest vibrational good. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? 1 card only, please, spirits. Messages for Leo the Lion. All right. Now we do the same thing. We're going to do the top and the bottom. Let me confirm they want this here. Spirits, did you want the Six of Cups in the right side up position to represent the one and only tarot confirmation card for this Leo reading? Okay. And let's see. Spirits, did you want the Seven of Swords in the reverse position to represent what's on top of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Leo reading? Okay. And Spirits, did you want the Three of Swords in the reverse position to represent what's on the bottom of this Hermetic Tarot deck for this Leo reading? Okay. And Spirits, once again, thank you for your advice, wisdom, guidance given, and thank you, of course, for listening. Spirits, do you want me to talk about the Seven of Swords in the reverse position and the Three of Swords in the reverse position when I talk about the Judgment card in the right side up position? No. Oh, okay. Well, let's see then. Maybe over here. Let's find out. Let me move this over anyway. I can't see. Okay. Need a bigger table, I guess. Okay. Spirits, did you want me to talk about the Seven of Swords in the reverse position and the Three of Swords in the reverse position when I talk about the Nine of Staves in the right side up position? Okay, so they want those there. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and get your last card of the reading, your little oracle card here real quickly, Leo. And then we'll get started. Okay. Spirits, help me navigate these weirdly shaped, beautiful cards. Okay, Spirits, messages for fire sign Cancer. Oh, no. Fire sign Leo, the lion, for January 2023. What do they need to see? I'm going to do a couple more shuffles. All right. Let's see here. Messages for fire sign Leo the Lion for January 2023. What does Leo the Lion, fire sign Leo the Lion for January 2023 need to see, need to know for their highest vibration? One card only, please, Spirits. Messages for fire sign Leo. All right. Let me make sure they want this one real quickly. Spirits and love and light. Did you want the coagulation oracle card for this Leo reading? All right. And I'll just look up the page number and put it aside to have it for later. So let's see here. Okay. All right. We got it. Okay. We'll take our quick picture and then we'll get started. I'm just going to move everything up a little bit. Up and over. Okay. And we're almost at 44 minutes, so I'll make a mental note for the timestamps. All right. All right, looks good. Okay, Leo, let's see what we have here for you. All right, so this is going to be a general reading, a timeless reading. It can be about you or another person or multiple people, general environment situations. So keep that in the back of your mind. But yeah, let's go ahead and call out your first four main cards here. So we have the Four of Staves in the right side up position, the Ace of Cups in the right side up position, the Judgment card in the right side up position, and the Nine of Staves in the right side up position. All right. So when we're on each one of these four cards, I'll kind of remind you of the dates this these events might take place, but it is a general guideline. So we said that the first card can be from around January 1st through the 7th. The second card can be from around January 8th through the 14th. And the third card can be from around January 15th through the 21st. And the fourth card can be from around January 22nd through the 28th. All right, so let's see here, Leo. I also want to just kind of go over the major arcanas and the minor arcanas here real quickly. It looks like you have two major arcanas, so it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just to, let me turn that down. It's just to note, right? So for some people, they want to know what other zodiac energies are showing up here. So with the Judgment card, you have a little bit of Pisces energy, and with the Death card, you have Scorpio energy. So you could be dealing with a Pisces or a Scorpio, Leo, or you have a lot of it in your birth chart, or the other person does. Or it could even be referencing Pisces season of last year, of this year, of next year, or Scorpio season. It could also be kind of giving you a clue on an area in your birth chart you should look at for even more insight, or the other person's birth chart. Or it means that nothing at all, but I just like to mention it ahead of time. All right, now let's see what the the majority of your minor arcana is to get another underlying theme here. We've got two swords, two staves or wands, two cups, and one pentacle. Okay, so it's gonna be, I guess, a tie here. So what did I say? Two swords, two wands, and what was the other one? Or maybe it's just those two. Okay. No, and two cups. There we go. I'm like, I knew there was a third one. All right, so it looks like here, Leo, it's a combination of swords, staves, or wands and cups. Okay, so what does that mean, right? In a general sense, we would say that the swords in the tarot represent our crown chakra, our logical mind, and also our mental health. So, is our mental health in a good place or in a not so good place? When we talk about staves, also known as wands, it is about our physical body and our health for some, but it's also about our defenses. So, are my defenses too high? Are my defenses too low? Or are they kind of just right? Now, when it comes to the cups, we're talking about emotions in the tarot. So, am I emotionally satisfied? Is the other person vice versa, etc.? Okay, so it looks like there's a little bit of possibly some defensive energy that we're talking about defenses, because the swords and the wands are both long tools. They can be a tool or a weapon, right? So going back, are my defenses too high, too low? Is it a tool? Is it a weapon, right? And then with the cups, we've got some emotions here as well. So just kind of put that in the background of your mind and see if it kind of makes sense later. But yeah, let's go ahead and start off with your first card here, Leo. We have the Four of Staves in the right side of position, also known as Four of Wands. And we said this could be happening around from January 1st through the 7th, but it's just a guideline, not exact dates. All right, but this is a really beautiful energy that can talk about celebrations, but it's really talking about particular unions, okay? So it can be romantic unions. We see this man and this Egyptian woman here, okay, if you can see closely, they're in kind of some type of communication where they're being really vulnerable, okay? We see the wine and the cheese in the foreground, but we don't see anyone in the background. So are they at a party or are they by themselves? It doesn't matter because they're comfortable with each other that it almost feels like they're by themselves, okay? So when we're talking about this union, it can be romantic, it can be a work partnership, it can be with friends or family, or even a union of different parts of yourself coming together here. But it is very nice energy, and again, can talk about celebrations, right? So if we're thinking of today, right? New Year's Day, when I'm filming this, of course, can be a celebration for some, but or just celebrating the new year in general, or it's a birthday party, or it's a wedding, or it's just a work party and it doesn't mean anything, or it's no party at all, but it just has that feeling of people or energies being more relaxed and more comfortable, almost like they're at a party. Okay. Now, because this is your first card here, too, Leo, this can be energy from the recent past that's kind of still trickling in that we're picking up here. But regardless of what it is, it looks like a good time frame here. If I had to look at your whole reading for just a glance in a moment here, I would say that the first two cards, the first 2 weeks, look like your best here, Leo. But of course, a little different for everybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be based on the weeks that I say, right? Those are just guidelines. But yeah, let's kind of keep going though and see what else comes out here for you. So now we're talking about your second week. And we have the Ace of Cups in the right side of position. And we said this could be from around January 8th through the 14th. All right. But anytime you have an ace, this is talking about endings and new beginnings, right? Fresh start energy. It gives our innate talents and gifts always a boost. And because it's the Ace of Cups, it can be something is more emotionally satisfying or fulfilling around those things. Okay. So here, literally, the cup is runneth over with all this water, all these emotions. Okay. Now, in particular, with this Ace of Cups, it can be about someone or some energy or something being also very resilient, okay? Because sometimes you will see a lotus flower growing in the background of the Ace of Cups, not in this deck, right, but in others. And so the lotus flower always talks about being really powerful because it's not a flower that grows in the dirt or the ground, but a flower that grows in the water. So it's like making beautiful things in difficult situations or environments or understanding. It's talking about evolution, right, with that lotus flower. But here it really feels like some good positive emotions coming through here around possibly some ending or new beginning, fresh start energy. And when it's following that four of staves, that your first card we were just talking about too, it can be involving some type of relationship, whether romantic, platonic, with self, etc. Okay. But yeah, your first 2 weeks are looking really nice here, Leo. All right, let's keep going and see what else comes out here for you. Now, when we get to your third week, it's a little bit of an energetic blockage for some, or a gentle reminder or challenge, right? But we do have Pisces energy showing up here with the Judgment card in the right side up position, okay? And we said this could be from around January 15th through the 21st. But basically, when the Judgment card shows up, it's asking ourselves or the other person, general environment situation, do I want to resurrect something? Do I want to rebirth something, rework something? Um, Maybe not, right? It will be different for everybody. When the Judgment card shows up, it can also refer to legal stuff, but it doesn't necessarily have to, because it can be a ruling or a judgment, a final decision, right? Some type of final decision. So normally in other tarot decks, you would see an angel blowing his little trumpet thing for people to rise up out of their graves, right? So they can come into heaven, or have that resurrection, right? So that's like, again, asking, do I want to rebirth something, rework something, refresh something? Okay. Now, a little bit of warning with the Judgment card here in this tarot deck is if there is or was a ruling that comes through, or final decision that didn't go exactly the way you wanted or the other person wanted, to not have that lead to any self destructive energy. So we see the woman at the top of the card punching the mirror image of herself, right? So just kind of like that gentle warning, like don't let it go there. If something doesn't go exactly the way you planned or they planned, find another outlet. Don't obviously hurt yourself. So let's see what's underneath it here, though, because that's where Spirit wanted me to talk to you about the top and the bottom of this deck to get even more insight. So these two cards are past energy. Hold on one second. I was like, forgot to turn the music back up. I need a little bit of water too. Hold on. All right. So, past energy, right? So we have the seven of sacred circles in the right side up position and the death card in the right side up position on the bottom, Scorpio energy. Okay, so these are the sponsor cards that made it possible for the judgment card to come out. So looks like here, Leo, that in the past, in some way, there was a lot of planning for the future with this seven of sacred circles or seven of pentacles as it's known. All right, there was a lot. Or there was not a lot, there was a correct evaluation of self and or others to get things done to prepare for the future. So here we see that kind of Thanksgiving, winter time, preparing for winter spread. All right. And then over here on the other side with the death card, all this planning and evaluation of self and or others that was correct prepared us or you or them for some type of ending, new beginning with the death card, right? So the death card is about clearing away the old to make room for the new, okay? Clearing out your closet so you can have room for more clothes or whatever you put in your closet, okay? So it could be that in the past here, Leo, somebody or something was really trying to find out possibly or prepare themselves or prepare yourself for this final ruling or judgment or decision to be made by preparing for it in the past and clearing the way in the past. Okay, so that's a good thing, right? Especially when if it's like a final judgment made by another person or a group of people, a corporation, or the court systems that it can kind of be out of your hands, so to speak, in a lot of ways. So doing those things to prepare for the worst but hope for the best, and try to find again the flow around that is important, right? So let's keep going though and see what comes out. All right, for your fourth week we have the nine of staves in the right side up position. So I myself get this card a lot, or the Sagittarius team does because I'm sun sign Sagittarius. But you have this energy of the nine of staves, or also known as nine of wands, where somebody or something almost wants to give up, but they're so close to something, right? So it's like, how can this young African boy who's on a rite of passage to kill the lion or the elk or whatever it is, if he's been hunting for days and he's hungry and he's tired, maybe he should take a nap. Maybe he should take a rest. Maybe he's got some food in his bag that he needs to eat to refresh himself. So it's saying, don't give up here, Leo. You're so close, right? So in tarot, 10 is the highest number. There's a 9 here, right? So it's really saying it might feel like giving up. You might feel like giving up, or the other person might feel like giving up, especially following the judgment card. If there was that final ruling or decision that was passed that wasn't what you wanted, the other person wanted, yeah, you might feel like giving up. But it's saying don't do that because you're so close to getting some type of ending, new beginning, getting possibly some of what you wanted, maybe not all of it. So it's saying don't give up here. But let's see what's underneath it to get even more insight about maybe why this card showed up. So what did we have here? We have the Seven of Swords in the reverse position and the Three of Swords in the reverse position. Again, past energy to maybe why this guy is showing up here in the future, current, present energies. All right. So Leo, in the past, with that Seven of Swords in reverse and the Three of Swords, it really feels like there was or is, right? But this is past, so was. Um, an energy that somebody had been working on, or just the energy itself to let go of some defenses, right? To not always be in the fight or flight or frozen mode, right? To really work on their mental health or your mental health in some way. The crown chakra, logical mind, right? So remember how in the beginning of the reading I was saying you had a combination of swords, wands, and cups, right? So are we going to use the sword as a tool or a weapon? Same thing with the wands and then with the cups. So it's like balancing the emotions with the cups, right? So How can I not let the emotions overwhelm me? Because that's the other thing, right? If we look at the two cards in your reading that have water, the judgment card, she's also underwater. It looks like. We don't know for sure. It could be a dream, but dreams are kind of watery like, right? Pisces energy. So how can we balance the water energy with some fire, wands energy, and also some air sign energy, the swords, right? Finding that balance, okay? Um, because yeah, I think that this person or this thing in the past that started to do this work again with it being under the nine of staves, maybe they feel like all that inner work with their mental health was for no reason because they want to give up, but it is for a reason, so don't give up. Okay. I know it sounds easy and is never easy, but don't. Okay. And I say that also because of the card over here, your last tarot card here. This is your tarot confirmation card that's going to come in and confirm all four cards, all 4 weeks we just talked about. And it's a really good positive card. So I feel like it's encouraging you or them or multiple people environment to not give up, okay? Because it is the Six of Cups in the right side up position. And this is a combination of past and future energy, but you can, of course, make it and say to yourself, that's going to be my future energy. So, with the Six of Cups energy, it talks about an equal give and take, right? 3 and 3 on each side. In other decks, you see two children each giving each other a cup of water or whatever, right? And it's full, and they're giving appreciation, reciprocity to each other. So, that equal give and take. It also can talk about nostalgia and elements from the past. It can talk about a person from the past or people from the past or just this general feeling of something in the past that was emotionally fulfilling and two parties or two energies were giving back equal energy. Okay. So I really feel like this is coming in here, Leo, saying, to not give up and to really just focus on you know, taking that idea or that person or memory from the past and not necessarily recreating it to a T because it's the future and you can never do that, but taking maybe that feeling of that and trying to maybe recreate that um, in a new, more futuristic, current way for you. Okay, but yeah, I think that good things are coming and also, with this Six of Cups on the right side up position being your tarot confirmation card and it being the Cups card, it's kind of going back to your second week, too, right? Of using our emotions in a positive way to help us make decisions, to not let the emotions overwhelm us, but to inform us, okay? And to remember how strong you are too, the Ace of Cups resiliency energy. If you were strong in the past, you can be strong again in the future. Emotionally strong, because we're talking about cups. All right. So Leo, let's get your little oracle card here real quickly before we go. So this is from the Wild Unknown Alchemy Oracle deck that I just got. So I'll be reading from the book a little bit because I haven't memorized them yet. But this is the coagulation card for this time period or even beyond. So it talks about heat and fire and desire. Okay. Wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. Take that back. Hold on. Whoopsie. That's calification, not coagulation. Wait, that's so tiny you can't see it. Here we go. It's definitely the wrong page. Here we go. All right. Just take that last little part I said back. Okay, so coagulation. It makes me almost think of when you close a wound, right? When you like burn it with fire, is that coagulation? It's some kind of medical term I think of. I can't remember now, but I don't know why I was thinking of like closing a wound or something here. But let's see what the book actually says and not just me guessing. It says solidarity, adherence, and stuckness. Okay, so coagulation is the great alchemy operation of Earth. Really interesting. Let me pause this part for a second. We currently have 6 planets in Earth, right? Capricorn season. Okay. Yeah, wait, you don't have, well, you have one. You have one Earth card, but it's in the past. So remember how I said briefly earlier, how do you balance between fire, water, and air? But then we said, well, I didn't say, but where's the Earth? This card is talking about Earth energy. All right. It says, um, by the way of this operation, we experience that which was fluid curdling into a solid formation. For merely disparate ingredients begin adhering together into a fixed and solid unit. The result is visible, reliable, and eventually concrete. When you hear the phrase, it is finally taking shape, coagulation is underway. Oh, wait, that's what it is, right? Is it blood coagulation or blood? Something about if you cut off the wound or you cartelize, no, you cartelize the wound, but then the blood coagulates, something like that. Okay, let me keep reading. um, yes, when you hear the phrase, it finally takes shape, coagulation is underway. The shadow aspect of coagulation is that the elements may have come together without much awareness, and in turn, they become unconsciously attached. Resentment can set in. The parts can no longer separate, even if they wish to. Many long term relationships have coagulation aspects, a naturally occurring codependency by which both parties feel unseen or unknown as individuals. The work of coagulation is to experience the merging with another while not losing oneself in the mush. Okay, really interesting here. Also, this book always tends to give like a reference to a painting or some artwork or some music or film. So it says to go deeper, look at the sculptures of Louis Nelvinson. Okay, I don't even know who that is. So if you feel guided, check it out, Louis Nelvinson. And it says to ponder and think about the idea of this card or energy. Think about merging into traffic. Okay. So, yeah, if you're merging into traffic, you're your own car, your own self, but you have to act as a whole of the traffic world in general and the other cars. So that makes sense. Let's see what else it says here. It says, sulfur and lead are ingredients of coagulation. Um, what else? It says, when this card appears, the alchemist must discern whether the earth element is helping or hindering the work. Is the attachment one of convenience or not? Okay. So let's see. That's really interesting how we can apply that to your reading. Um, I would say it would probably go with the Judgment card and maybe the Nine of Staves as well, right? So if we're getting a ruling or final decision, how can we see how that affects us but also affects everyone, right? Being the car and then the whole traffic, the merging of the traffic I just talked about. And then with the Nine of Staves, how can I be this young boy who's doing the rite of passage to hunt the lion to prove that he's a man? That's for himself, right? But also, if he gets the lion or the elk or whatever, not saying, I don't know, people who are vegetarian, but I'm just referencing the thing of the card, that it is like now he can provide food and sustenance for the village. So I don't know. That's kind of how I would see it. but always take it how it may resonate for you. So that is your reading here, dear Leo. So thank you guys so much as always for your energy, for your likes and your subscriptions. It really does help support the channel. So I like to try to remember to mention, I think I forgot it in the beginning of the video, but if you feel guided and you want to subscribe, it is free. You just hit the subscribe button. It notifies you when I put out new videos. And if you want to like the video, not only does it tell me that you like something personally in the video, it tells YouTube's algorithms to share it more with others. So the first couple of days, the more likes it gets, the more they share it and show it to other people. And then the third thing is if you feel guided and want to share it with your friends or family, you can physically send it to them, right? So whatever you feel guided to do. But yeah, also if you want to get the one photo of all these cards, I will be posting it briefly. All you have to do is click in the description box below and follow the little instructions there on how to get it on my Facebook page. So if you want to see the cards all together, just more up close in detail or have a reminder or whatever, it's there for you if you want. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So enjoy this time period, and I will be coming back either today or tomorrow. We'll see how the energy goes with Virgo and Libra, right? Virgo, Libra next. I think so. Yes. All right. All right, you guys. Take care. See you later. Bye.